Hey everyone, this is Rob Tiffany. I'm just going to do an intro to a digital platform I invented this year called Greenhouse in good old 2022. This digital platform is designed primarily for sustainability. It's kind of does some IoT stuff, capturing data. I'm a big believer, if you want to manage or improve something, you got to measure it. And so the system is designed to do that, but it's very lightweight. It could be used by large organizations. It could be used for education, for teaching students how to discover the world around them, and soak in all that data to help monitor things like emissions, like maybe CO2 or methane, or in precision agriculture, measuring soil moisture to use the right amount of water. So that's the focus of this platform. So I'm just going to kind of kick things off. I'm going to do a series of videos. They'll all be really short, just a few minutes each, just to show you little bite-sized pieces of this system. So when you kick this thing off, you see the screen here, welcome to Greenhouse. Some of the things are kind of grayed out. You can't use it. At the bottom, you always have a message center at the bottom. It's telling you, hey, put in a URI to connect to the gateway. What's the gateway? You can think that is kind of the server ish part of the Greenhouse platform. But like I said, it's lightweight. It can run at the edge. It can run on a PC, on your servers. It can run in any cloud. It can run in VMware. It can run on bare metal. So super flexible. You can run it anywhere, and you don't need a lot of horsepower to do it. So the first thing we need to do is just get that URI in there so we can talk to it. So I'm kind of running things locally here on this laptop. You can see here everything's exposed. I'm using OpenAPI v3, so I'm just going to kind of grab up here, copy and paste to grab this part of this URI and paste it in there. You also see a little hint underneath. It's kind of like, hey, here's what we're looking for. It's got to be encrypted, obviously TLS, SSL, the port name, and then it wants me to put in an API, and in this case V1. What's the deal with V1? Well, down the road as we update the APIs, this is an API first system, if that means anything to you. And so the whole system literally is all APIs, which means you can build any kind of native or web platform on top of it. In this case, I'm just doing a test native application that's running on Windows just to try out the APIs, but it can be anything you want. It could run on an iPad or a phone or your favorite browser. So I'm going to put that in there. I'm going to go ahead and save it like it told me to. And then I'm going to hit refresh. And then sure enough, you notice some things changed on the screen. Things that were grayed out. Obviously, there's no organizations to choose from here. I can't log in. So we're going to create a brand new organization. And again, the organization, that means it could be a company or a school or whatever, or a nonprofit. Doing this creates a new tenant. It's another term you hear all the time. It's a multi-tenant system. And so multiple organizations can all run on the system. So let's create our little test organization name. We'll call it AgOrg for agriculture. And we're just like our description, which is optional. See, you get the little red stars next to it. Helping sustainable agriculture. That's our description. Then there's this idea of a solution. Think of this as an app, basically. You're going to be able, within your tenant that you create, this organization, you'll be able to create multiple solutions, multiple apps. And they're all separate from each other as well. They're all multi-tenanted. And they even go further. There's groups for devices that you deploy that go within the solutions. So we'll just do, we'll call the solution Precision Ag. And the description is monitoring apple orchards. And so we're going to put devices out in apple orchards and monitor soil moisture and temperature and light and humidity, things like that, to determine how much water needs to go down. So we're not just wasting water by irrigating too long. We're going to irrigate precisely because there's not as much water to go around these days as there used to be. All right, for the first ever administrative user, that's going to be me. This person, it kind of has superpowers. I'll be able to create other users. I'll be able to create other solutions and lots of other things within that. My email address is what I'll use to log in. I'll just create a fake email address here. And I have to put in a username and password and retype it to make sure. And so when everything looks right to you, then you hit submit, and then it's submitted, and it called, this desktop application running in Windows, this native app called the APIs, and it's created a few things for us. The first thing you notice here, you get to the home screen. This is kind of your launch pad to go to different areas, which we'll go into later in other videos. But the first thing you'll see at the top is select a solution. So we created the solution called Precision Ag, but you could have multiple solutions, and you'll choose different ones before you go on to different areas in the future, so that those things are living within the scope of that particular solution. You see here areas to create new solutions, to create users of the system, device type, that's a type of a device, a type of thing, like an asset class. It could be a type of soil, it could be a Raspberry Pi device, it could be a car. And then you inherit from those things with actual devices that are deployed. So you define all the properties here one time, and then they inherit to all these devices. You also have device groups, because you want to just not have them all out there all blended together. You might want to group them in different areas by location and other things. And of course, you'll have a device simulator that you can test, like how a real device would behave right here. So that's kind of your home screen, and we're going to go ahead and exit out of here. And now you'll see, once you get back, now you see this has refreshed and said select organization, and there's the ag org that we created. With a default solution, it actually created a default group as well, a device group as well, like just called default, that you can start with. So just for fun, I'll make sure I can log in here and hope everything works. Hit submit, and there you go. So anyway, thanks for your time. This is your first kickoff intro to the Greenhouse Digital Platform, because we are all here to save the earth. Thanks for your time. Bye-bye.